good morning, my fellow adventurers. Day 2 here on the scenic river trail heading towards Archer's Fork. We're in the process of packing up now. We've been up since about 5:30. It is 6:15 now. We've got almost everything packed up and we're getting ready to actually eat some breakfast real quick. And then we're getting on trail. Very uneventful night, very quiet throughout the woods once it got dark. Woke up a couple of times. I had to go to the bathroom about 11:30, but Alex actually dozed off about 9. I was asleep by roughly 10, and I slept throughout the night other than having to get up to go to the restroom at 11:30. Beyond that, like I said, it was a very uneventful night, very quiet. Heard a motorcycle or car out the distance one time, and about 1 o'clock I heard some coyotes out in the distance, way out in the distance. It was really faint. There actually, I think, was one on top of this ridge because it was a little bit closer than the others. But other than that, yeah, pretty nice night to rest. Little sore because this wasn't the best spot. We were on a little bit of an incline, kind of slid down a little bit. Alex, she's a hair bit sore from not being able to rest as well as we wanted to. You can tell it's starting to lighten up really good and definitely pretty up in here. We're going to filter up water here in just a moment, get the tent down. I'm kind of letting the tent set while we eat and everything. Normally I would already have it down, but I'm trying to let it dry because there was quite a bit of condensation in it from where it's so humid and the dew point probably is pretty high. So you know, we condensated from our breath inside the tent, making it kind of damp. So yeah, I'm trying to let that dry off so I don't have to carry, I can carry as little bit of water weight as possible. I mean, it's not wet, but it's damp. Plus, you know, I figure the more it dries now, the better off it'll be later on in the day when we actually do get set up. So the idea is we're going to be on trail by 7:30 minimum, and that's probably actually a little bit later than what we'll be. And we're going to try to knock out as many miles this morning before it actually does start warming up, which will probably be about noon. If everything works out, we're shooting to try to do 6 to 8 miles this morning. That would be in about 5 hours. I see no problem doing that. And then we're hoping maybe to sit down, do a nice little lunch, whatever. And then maybe in the afternoon, do another 2 to 3 miles. You know, get that 10-mile mark in, 11-mile mark today. That's the itinerary for the day. Alex, I believe, just got done eating. I'm about to grab my oatmeal and eat it. And then we're going to get over here and get on trail. And we are up early enough that having this tent sitting directly on the trail, like I was talking about last night, actually didn't cause any problems. Nobody's come through. So I'm sure we'll actually be packed up and actually on trail before anyone would come through. Like I said, I normally wouldn't advise doing this, but it was kind of like, it was coming in. So we just wanted to get set up and just be safe as possible. Well, guys, it's about 20 to 8 now. We left site at about 20 after 7. So we've been on trail about 20 minutes. And we left site, crossed the creek there, and started up the North Country Trail heading towards the Archer's Fork loop and everything. It's been a gradual, steady incline the whole way. Wasn't expecting quite that immediately. I thought there was a little bit more of a gradual flat and then up. So once again, starting the day out with a pretty hefty incline. I don't think it's gonna be quite as bad as the beginning of yesterday, but yeah, it's not extremely hot. I looked at my watch. It's about 65 degrees, but it's still extremely humid and muggy. And with that, of course, it does make it feel warmer. So here's what it is. Got a little bridge here. Kind of neat. Probably has a little bit of water flow in the spring. Still searching for signal so we can kind of let everybody know where we're at, what we're doing, how we're doing. Haven't got one yet, but we are coming up this ridge, so I would assume we're going to be getting some type of signal shortly. Kind of pretty. Not old growth forest, of course, because they did come in and do some mining and such in last century. So the trees are just now recovering after being added to the national forest and such, but it's okay. Still a pretty little forest. Real quiet. Not seeing a lot of animals, mainly birds. We're about a little over a mile into it at about 35 minutes. Pretty good time today. Trail's fairly been easy after that incline. Trail was kind of flat for a little bit, then we come up on the trailhead, which I can show you as we head out. It's the trailhead that's like halfway in the center of this North Country trail heading to Archer's Fork. We came up, crossed a road, saw an actual sign saying to Archer's Fork, which is awesome. And now we've been on a gradual decline, at least 0.2 of a mile now, probably coming up on 0.3. And unfortunately, we have in the back of our mind, we have to do this to get back out. So probably the last day or so, we'll be doing this incline to get out. But this has been, you know, not too bad walking, but going up it will be kind of interesting. It's gonna stink having to climb this far because literally this is kind of the grade that we've had the whole way, and it is kind of rocky in spots and a lot of roots, so going up it will be kind of tiresome. But like I said, that last day, even if we don't get to the car until like 7-8 o'clock, as long as we're not in the dark hiking, I really don't care. I don't mind driving at night, and it'd be kind of neat, you know, maybe get to the car at 7, a little bit cooler weather, start heading home. That'd be kind of neat. Find us a gas station, because we did use over half a tank of gas getting here, but a 4-hour drive, that's not too bad. But yeah, we're following these blue diamond blazes now. I believe that's part of Archer's Fork. We'll check once we get up there. I know actually the North Country Trail is blazed as yellow diamonds with red dot, and they're sporadic through here as well. In fact, that blue diamond may be part of the Buckeye Trail. It's possible. Is that what it said?
Yeah, it said that because the red dot over the yellow diamond is both North Country and 9 Bell, I believe it was
Okay.
called.
Okay.
And then the blue is North Country and Buckeye.
Okay, so there you go. We're actually on part of the Buckeye Trail as well. And that's kind of neat. I didn't actually catch that. I guess I was trying to get signal. I still have yet to get signal. And I know Jenny's probably going to start worrying if we don't get a signal before long to get a caller. Or text her at least. Some rock formations through here. We're starting to see some more of these rock outcroppings. Unfortunately, as we see them, we're also starting to hit more rock. And these rocks have a lot of moss on them, so they're a little slick. So we're trying to watch our footing as well. But yeah, we're seeing some more of these rock outcroppings now. We're actually starting to see some scenes, stuff to actually, we're actually off the scenic trail and we're actually seeing stuff. Because I'll be honest guys, that scenic river trail, yeah, there was nothing for 3 miles. It was nothing but heavy, dense wood walking. Look at that erosion there. That's kind of neat. Some more over here. Yeah, for example, here you go. Here's the yellow diamond with the red inlay, and then the blue diamond and the blue square are indicative of the Buckeye Trail. And I kind of thought that because the Buckeye Trail, I believe, is the only trail in Ohio that's blue. And because it goes through certain areas, they don't overlap that blue too much. As far as I know. I could be wrong on that. If there is some other trails in Ohio that you know of that have a blue diamond or blue coloring, let me know. And let the viewers know as well in the comments, guys. Oh, this is dicey going under a couple of trees that are leaned way over. Looks like there was a massive tree fall right through there in the past. Went ahead and decided to go ahead and take a second to video. We've come down that incline that we were coming down a minute ago. We've come down to what's called Caddy Run. It's the creek that actually kind of bisects the North Country Trail heading to Archer's Fork. We're at 6.1 miles for the total, roughly 1.2 miles from where we camped last time. So we're actually 1.2 miles into our hike of the North Country Trail Divider Trail there. And that's Caddy Run right there. And there is this nice campsite. Not really conducive for hammocks. I mean, you might be able to throw one up maybe right over in there, but I really don't think that you'd get a hammock up in here very easily. But for tents, there's a nice big flat area, and it does have this awesome fire ring. Someone's really took some time to build this up. This would have been great to camp at. Of course, there's a little bit of trash there. But yeah, definitely could get one good tent in here, maybe two if they're about the size that ours is, and probably one about the size of our monger. But there, there's a little seat here. There's actually wood piled up right here. Plenty of area to get wood. You're right here at water. This is a nice site, guys. So if you want to come in and get a little bit extra miles in than we did yesterday, of course, this is actually where I wanted to go yesterday, but where it did come at that rainstorm, this is the best I could do. But this definitely, it's not too far off the trail, because right here is the trail. Still going up and coming down from there. We're going to head out that direction. Campsite's right over there, and this is Caddy Run, which doesn't have a lot of water in it right now, but there's definitely enough that you could come in here and filter, get your water for the night and the next day, whatever. And it's really a pretty little area. Got this nice big rock crop in here. That's a nice site. I wish we could have made it over here last night, but we got to the point where we just couldn't go any further because of the rain. More worried about thunderstorms, which we lucked out and didn't see any of. But definitely a pretty area. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Red River Gorge. Just not quite as pretty, but still kind of neat. So a little bit more information on the trail for you guys. We're going to continue on and get over to Archer's Fork. So guys, we're roughly 8 miles total for the trip. About 3.1 miles for the day. And I did get it wrong. This is actually Caddy Run, which once again is not much of a creek. You can filter here if you need water. So no campsites, at least right in here. This is where we came from. It says 9 Bell Trail, but that's actually part of the North Country Trail out that direction. There was a substantial downfall over in there that we had to get across. We actually had to kind of detour, which we will have to do that on the way back out. But this is where we're kind of at. So you come off that area there, and we're going to go up this direction. The North County Trail heading towards Archer's Fork. We should be roughly about a half a mile to the junction of Archer's Fork. We're going to take a 15, get a little bit of water in our system, probably a little bite to eat, and probably just sit down and try to relax for like 15-20 minutes. But I figured I'd show you this area. I believe this is Caddy Run Road. It looks like it's just mainly a dirt road, like a service road for the area. But yeah, that's where we came from, and that's where we're going to go, guys. Straight up the mountain. Yeah, so we just kind of camped out right here at the beginning of this section of the trail. And got a little snack. Alex is actually eating one of our lunches. She's hungry. And I told her, I said, if you're hungry, go ahead and eat it. Because we actually didn't really even eat dinner last night. We just kind of snacked. So we actually have an extra meal in there if we need it. So it's not that big a deal. And so we're good there. And yeah, it's about 10 o'clock. We've done about 3.5 miles since about 7:35. So not great, but not bad, because we've had a total elevation gain of quite a bit. I'd have to look it up. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys and show you what it actually is that we've done as far as elevation already today. Because when we first come out of sight, we had that initial elevation up to the trailhead. Then after that, we declined, and then we had another huge elevation gain. Then we kind of up and down, up in here on this ridge, and then we've come down to here. And now we've got this. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to go up there. And that'll probably be in the next 0.6 miles as we head towards Archer's Fork. And then we'll be on Archer's Fork, which I know is up and down, up and down. So it's gonna be interesting seeing how that's gonna go for us, but it's gonna be fun. Kind of looking forward to it. Well, in a way not. Alex is over here laughing. Yeah, you're looking forward to it, right? Up and down, up and down? Mm-hmm, sure. So yeah, so far the heat hasn't come in on us. It's kind of comfortable. My watch says it's 71 degrees. So much more comfortable than when we first got here and it was 93 yesterday. It's still kind of humid, not as bad as yesterday, but of course it is only 10 o'clock in the morning. Probably by 1, 2 o'clock it could definitely get up to about 90. The humidity will probably go up, so we'll see how it goes. The sky has kind of cleared off though. It was cloudy when we first got up. There's still some clouds in the sky, but we do see some blue sky, and of course the sun's out now. I figure with the sun being out is one reason it's probably going to warm up on us. So we'll see how that plays out as well. But pretty morning. Nice area. Not too bad. Definitely remote. I haven't had signal since last night. At one point I did catch some signal. I got a couple of texts from Jenny. I don't know if any of our texts have gotten to her. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting up on a high ridge and trying to get at least a signal, you know, something out, text out to her, or hopefully be able to call and at least talk to her for a few minutes, let her know we're okay. She didn't seem too overly concerned because she knew that we were going to not have signal, because her texts were kind of like, you know, basically along the lines that she understood that, you know, once we got signal that we'd probably have quite a few messages coming in, and, you know, we'd be sending some messages. So we'll see how it goes. But big rock up cropping up there. I don't know if you can see it through the trees on the phone, but might actually go up past that. I'll show you that if we do. But this is Caddy Run, which I mean, you know, any information I read said it was a substantial creek. This is not really much of anything. I mean, it's good enough to get water, but definitely not like some of the creeks we've crossed, like, you know, Red River Gorge, or
even Mohican.
Mohican has some creeks that are pretty decent. East Fork has a couple of creeks that are pretty decent. This is pretty shallow. And it does look like the water flows this direction, if you can tell. So if I were you, if you come in here, I would actually go this direction and filter so you didn't get the runoff from the cars across this road. But I'd go like right over in here, somewhere up in there, and filter. We are officially on Archer's Fork. Right back there was the rendezvous point, was the junction point. And now we're heading down this direction. It's down like a little service road. I believe we'll walk this for a minute, and then we'll probably deviate back down into the forest over here. Going over to one of our bigger, well, actually should be the largest creek crossing that we will have on this trip. It was interesting. About 2/10 of a mile back down the North Country Road, we had stopped because I finally got signal, was able to send a message over to Jenny, everything else. And we heard some pecking on a tree, but it didn't sound like a woodpecker. It was real faint. Not so much faint, just more dense, more like and it wasn't like, you know, woodpecker. This one was like pop, 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 pop. So it was really, really weird. And my first thought was either a deer with its antlers or a wild pig. I didn't say anything to Alex because I didn't want to spook her. And it kind of moved down to the side of us, and we kind of went on up the trail. As we were going up, sure enough, we heard the grunting of a pig. So I'm pretty sure we crossed either a wild pig or a boar or something in the woods. Never saw it. It did come towards us initially, and then I started making a lot of sounds, hey bear, clacking my trekking poles together, and we heard it move on down. And of course we're definitely past it now. Ooh, nice breeze. Feels good. Feels real good right about now. Yeah, we're out in the open a little bit. Blue skies, pretty day. But that was interesting because that definitely would be one of the largest animals we've seen here. We didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure that's what we heard. Because it was like a type idea. It was a deep, deep grunt. That was interesting.
That was definitely the first time I had seen or heard anything remotely bigger than like a chipmunk or other than like a deer. Because we've seen deers and deers are adorable, but like just the instant of him just being like, hey, why don't you just step behind me for a second? And then we just tried to like have to make a bunch of noise, and that was very just like, I've never done that on trail. I haven't done it yet, but you know, it was very odd.
Yeah, because you can't have especially if it's a larger boar or a pig, they can run towards you and gouge you or cut something. This one didn't sound too big and it was really quick too, because it went down the hill really fast.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I thought at first it was just a woodpecker, maybe pecking on deadwood trees or something like that to get the termites out of it. But it was, like I said, that the thumping just didn't match a woodpecker. And then, like I said, we heard the low grunts, and I was like, no, that's probably a boar, and it's been putting its tusk up on the tree. I'll look it up and see if there are wild boar in this forest, or if maybe it was a wild pig, or we'll figure it out. I'll put it up on screen, do a little bit of research. But that was interesting, because it did actually come towards us until I started making the noise I was making. Like I said, I did that loud hey bear. I clacked my tracking poles together, and it seemed to move away. And of course, we're definitely a good distance from it now. We're making pretty good time on this right now. I mean, the gravel sucks. It's a little rough on the feet, but that was a little bit of an adrenaline boost on the trail, guys. Especially considering Alex was directly behind me, and that's the direction that sound came from. I'm like, oh no, get behind me. Oh, I got a sign up here. I bet you we take a right there.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to take a right over here and probably back into the forest. So this is just a short stretch of road walking that you got to do at the southern end of Archer's Fork. Depending on where you come in at it. A lot of people come in at the north end, at the trailhead there where the cemetery is, where we are making a longer loop counting the southern part of the section that we just come out of. We come into it in the middle there, which is okay. I'm sure other people have done this, making a little bit longer path for themselves. And if I'm going to drive 4 hours, I want to make it worthwhile. I don't want to do an overnighter or 2 nights or something, which, like I said, we're going to struggle to try to do 3 days or 3 nights. Alex is wanting to try to do it in 2.
I really think if we can get to an area where it's flat enough for a little bit of ways, we'd be able to catch our feet or catch our breath, and kind of ease our feet off of the like very high inclines and declines and stuff like that. And I feel like we could pound out like even up to maybe even 12-15 miles today if we really tried. And then we would be able to do about 8 or so tomorrow.
I think we go that way.
Yeah, because
the blazes are there.
Looks like we gotta go under or over or
around. Might be able to fit under it.
Oh, I don't know, Dad. I'm gonna struggle to fit under it.
You got blazes there. There's a trail that goes out that direction. I'm not sure what that is, but there's no blazes on it at all.
There we go. I almost fell over doing that. Ooh, these are unpleasant on the feet.
Got rock walking right through here, and then it looks like it goes back in the trail. Hey, water! So yeah, we're still coming along this little path here. Come off that service road. Gonna go up through here and see what we see, guys. Making pretty good time right now where it's flat and not quite up and down. I know we do have a pretty substantial decline shortly down into a valley where there should be a substantial creek crossing. We're going to try to find a spot right in there to have lunch, relax for about a half an hour, get a bite to eat. Filter.
I kind of already had my lunch.
Kind of filter up on some water and get going again, because right after that there is a pretty hefty incline. Then there's a flat ridge walk, then another decline. And we're either going to camp there or push forward and try to make another couple miles, which if we can do that, that'll put us at about 10 to 11 miles for the day, which is minimum what we wanted to do. Well guys, we're already about a mile and a half into Archer's Fork in less than 30 minutes. From that junction to here has been extremely easy. It's all been flat. We had that initial half-mile road walk, and then from there it's been flat. I mean, there was a couple of small inclines, but nothing major. I think we are now actually descending down into the river, or into that creek bed where that major creek crossing is going to be. Coming out into a clearing. It looks like we may see one of these pumps here. Yep.
Oh, cool. You can actually see that one very clearly.
Yeah, I'm going to walk right beside it.
We
Archer's Fork in this area is littered with these. There's a number of them in the area.
We saw one on the scenic river trail when we first started, and it was a little bit of a distance away. We couldn't really actually get right up beside it like this one. So it's kind of cool that you can be up right by this one.
Yeah, this
blaze on the power box.
Yeah, there's a blaze on, and this one is in working condition because that's a brand new generator and all that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. See that on trail. Wow, that sun is out blazing, guys. When we're not when we're not in cover, it gets very warm very quickly.
Ooh, yeah, definitely. It's hot already.
It's not as humid as yesterday still, but it's hot. So we'll be checking my watch when we get over here and sit down next to this creek and see what the temperature is. See a noticeable difference when you get in the shade.
Here, do you want me to check your watch right now?
Yeah, you can.
It says it is 85 or 80 degrees, 80.5.
80.5, so still nowhere near as hot as yesterday, but it is only about noon. So that temperature will go up over the next 3 to 4 hours and then start coming back down.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see 90 degrees again today. I just don't feel the heat index will be quite as high because it's not as humid. At least it doesn't feel as humid right now. Yeah, we're doing this descent now, guys. Coming down in here. Kind of looking forward to getting down next to this creek, getting a good bite to eat, some lunch, filling up on some water, probably going to do some electrolytes, and if there's shade next to the creek, we're going to try to soak our feet for a few minutes and let them cool off. I may actually have a blister developing on my right foot. If not, it's a sore spot that I have some molly skin. I'm probably going to cover it just to be on the safe side, so maybe I won't have to worry about it. And if it's a blister, I guess I'll have to tend to it, drain it, and then cover it. So that's going to be fun. It'll be the first time I've ever had a blister, and I think a lot of that has to do with the simple fact I was planning on wearing my darn tough socks, and I don't have those back yet. I have to send those off, or I had to send those off, and they're supposed to inspect them and see if there's a fault. If there is, they're going to give me a code to buy a new set, so I'll have to wait on those to be delivered, and it's a little bit of a hassle. So I'm not really too pleased so far. I sent those off about a week ago, and I haven't heard anything. They said give it 2 weeks, so if I haven't heard anything in 2 weeks, I'm really going to start pressing the issue with them. We'll see what happens, guys. So we came down the decline, come across the road over here, and this was where the substantial creek crossing was supposed to be. Yeah, I guess where it's dry, it's not so bad. A lot of the reports I was looking at was, when it is more springtime weather. If you notice, like right through here, over in here, you can definitely tell that this creek does get much higher than it is right now. But we went ahead and stopped here. We're going to filter up on some water. We had a little bit of type of lunch. Lexi snacked because she ate earlier a little bit, so she just had a little snack. I actually ate a decent little lunch for myself. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and fill up on water because we do have a pretty big incline over here. And then we should get a flat small decline, and then back up again. And we're kind of debating how many more miles we want to do for the day, because we're going to try to shoot to be on a ridge where we have some cell signal so we can contact people and still be able to, carry water up to that. So we're going to kind of play it by ear and see what we decide we want to do. Alex is filtering water right now, getting that taken care of. And we're going to get packed back up a little bit. I mean, I pull my food bag out and stuff. And we're going to get packed back up and get on up the trail. It is now just 20 to 1. And we've already put in a little over 6 miles, about 6.25 miles for the day. That's not too bad. We started at 7:30. This is our second stop of the day, and this one has been a little bit longer. We're probably going to be about 45 minutes on this one. The first one was about a half an hour. So really, trail time, we're looking at probably about 4 hours at 6.25 miles. With the elevation gain that we've already done, it's not too bad. I'm not really going to complain. I mean, if this is more like East Fork or some of the places that are a little bit flatter, maybe even Vesuvius, 4 hours we could do 8-9 miles. So being at 6.25 with the elevation here, that section of trail from the Scenic River Trail to Archer's Fork is 2.7 miles, and it took us almost 2 hours. But we've done the rest of the trail that we've done today in less than 2 hours, and it's more mileage. So it's just really intense to think about how hard that trail was. But like I said, we do have these inclines coming up over here. I'll let you know as we go up those what I'm starting to think about those. And they rate Archer's Fork as hard. We'll see. So far it wasn't that bad, but we're really probably going to start getting into the thick of it as we get over into here. But anyway, guys, we're going to head and finish filtering, get packed back up, get our stuff in our bags, and get going on the trail so we can make some good time and try to get up here and get a little bit more signal so we can talk to family. I have been able to get a few messages out to Jenny. Alex is wanting to be able to text her boyfriend. Hasn't had a chance since we actually got on trail because he doesn't actually have a cell phone. He has data on a tablet. So we're trying to hit data somewhere along the way. We haven't had data since we got on trail, so I haven't been able to check weather or anything like that. Haven't been able to send any Instagram photos. I'm going to do those when I get home or if I happen to get signal up here. Finished up lunch. And going to head across this creek and get on over, starting up these elevation gains that we're looking at doing. Going to try to get across this without getting wet. I think we can do it. Yeah, should be no problem. Oh no, that's a pretty deep spot right there.
I got this. Look, watch. Go here. And if you move your leg over, here, soak your whole entire foot from falling, but it's good.
All right, so yeah.
That's a thorn bush, by the way, so watch that.
Is your foot wet?
Yes. I missed a step and slipped almost, so I had to set my foot down, otherwise I would have fell in entirely.
All right, so that may be good for blisters here in a little bit. All right, I'm gonna try to get across without getting wet, guys. We'll let you know the results here in a little while. We come across another rig. I think that one's kind of not in use, considering it's got a big tree laying on it. We haven't really hit the elevation yet. We had a small elevation, and then it's been kind of just a little bit flat walking. This is one of the areas where there's power lines, so it's kind of cleared out right through there. Kind of come down through here, just hiking in an area where it's kind of comfortable, shaded.
You sad to say something?
Until we go out into the field again.
Oh, no.
See the power lines right there.
Oh.
Nice blue sky though.
Man, it looks like we walk all the way down there. Like past, like right beside these things.
Well, maybe.
In the sun. Like even the plants are dying.
Kind of walking adjacent to that road that we crossed earlier, just before we got to the creek where we had lunch. Not the most scenic area, but this is part of Archer's Fork. I think the eastern side will be more scenic from my research. And as we get closer to the northern trailhead, at least this is flat, somewhat. Ah, back into the shade.
Do you think we're gonna pass the northern
Past what?
Do you think we're gonna pass the north trailhead today?
Maybe. Yeah, how far we go. And back into the woods walking. Where it is probably 10 degrees cooler.
At least.
So we're back into the woods pretty decently. Kind of adjacent to that road still. But we've entered pretty much a pine forest. It's been pretty smooth trekking for the last 10 minutes or so, making good time. According to the map, there's supposed to be some elevation gain shortly. I'll be dang, look at this. I turned on the camera and holy cow. Campsite.
Oh, nice.
How many times do I do that? Look at this. Oh, there's firewood and everything.
Got a lovely little seat. That's actually piled up as if it's ready to start.
Yeah?
Somebody decided they didn't want to burn a fire that night.
Maybe last night may have rained on them.
Ooh. Really?
So, signs of civilization, guys. That actually is the first true campsite we've seen on Archer's Fork. There was one about 2 miles back that was off in the distance. Didn't look like it's been used for a while, so I didn't record that one. It could probably, somebody really wanted to put some effort into it, come in and clean it up, but I don't know if I'd want to camp there because that's pretty close to that road, because that road is just over there.
Probably be noisy at night.
Well, I mean, we've only heard like 3 or 4 cars go down it, so.
Yeah, but if you're trying to sleep, I don't know about you, but any slight noise kind of wakes me up.
True. Especially how quiet it gets here at night.
Yeah.
With the heat here lately. Back going across this field again. We just crossed a little ways down that way, and now we're going back across it. I was full on expecting an elevation gain before now, and we haven't seen any elevation whatsoever to speak of, other than about a 20-foot little incline to get up to this plateau here that we've been walking. I mean, this, I believe, is a gradual incline, but it hasn't been very severe at all. It's starting to get pretty muggy, pretty hot, guys. Yeah, got a little incline here. It may be starting to go up now. We'll see. But yeah, it's really, the humidity's starting to pick up, heat's starting to go up. I'm glad we were able to get that 6 miles in earlier today. We're going to keep our water flow going, making sure we maintain. I've already had about 3.5 liters today, but on a hot day like this, to avoid dehydration, sometimes you have to drink as much as 6 to 8. So I'm about halfway there. Looks like it's going to be a little flat and then go back down a little ways.
So, I personally have determined that I'm going to be the group cheerleader, give us pep talks and stuff, and make sure we're happy and everything to try and be able to push through, because I personally would try and want to push ourselves to be able to leave tomorrow, which, yes, I know that may not be possible, but the whole point of this is to be able to push ourselves, because we are technically training, because we would like to do the Appalachian Trail at some point. So Appalachian Trail is probably going to be harder than this, which is why I want to be able to push through this in a short amount of time.
So, yeah. Oh, Alex is going to be our cheerleader for the next couple of days.
Yes.
From the junction to here is about 3.2 miles. We happened up on this really nice campsite. That's the trail. So I mean, it's directly on the trail, but
you can still go back in there.
Yeah, you're talking. There's a nice fire ring. There are trees, plenty of trees for hammocks, plenty of room for tents. You can even snuggle one up in there if you want to get distant. I'm pretty sure this actually will take you down to water to filter, because there's a creek that's running right over in there. So you can filter water right here at site. And yeah, nice little campsite right here on the trail. Figure I'll show you this one too, guys. It's in the middle of a pine forest. It's really pretty right through here. We are at 7.6 miles for the day. Our goal is to hit at least 10. Alex is wanting 12 to 13, so it's just now coming up on 2 o'clock. I mean, it's doable. Feeling pretty good. I did get my foot wet going across that crossing. I forgot to tell you guys that. But it was just a simple step in, little splash, because it went above my boot. My foot did get a little damp, but it's already dried off. The sock's a hair bit damp on top, but other than that, I'm not feeling anything. I will have to watch it though. That is the foot that I was thinking it was a blister. I just had some little bit of raw skin, and I was like, well, I'm okay for now. Get to site, I'll get some molly skin on it, no big deal. Well, I may have should have done that before I stepped into that water, so we'll see how it goes tonight, guys. But yes, definitely a nice site. Well worth coming in here and camping at this site. Honestly, if this was 2 more miles that direction, I'd be like, yeah, we're camping here. Because I've been wanting to camp in a pine forest, and this is really pretty, guys. See, really pretty area. But unfortunately, we're going to hit the trail and head on, guys. Come to the top of this incline, and there are a ton of rock formations up here. It's actually kind of cool, and they go, it's pretty very tall up there.
Yeah, those go far up.
I'll be surprised there's cave entrances up there.
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, it goes way back over in here too. Definitely finally getting to see some stuff on trail. We worked for it though. That was a pretty hefty incline to get up to this far, and I think we actually have another one coming up.
Yeah. It's been a very hefty incline included with rock walking.
And the trail is kind of flat right through here. I was half expecting a campsite, and I've been kind of keeping an eye out, but I've not seen anything. But that is kind of neat. All the different rock formations up there. Consequently, the ground is pretty rocky. We've been rock stepping for a while, which is very hard on your feet.
Yeah.
Still over in here. It's like the trail actually just circles these low enough to stay away from them so people don't go up and desecrate them, which, you know, they would with graffiti and such, but still close enough you can see them really well. And a massive tree come down over here. They did clear it out though, so we don't have to worry about climbing over it.
We've climbed over a number of trees already today.
Oh yeah. Well guys, we made it to site. Got a little over 9 miles in for the day, and we kind of called it done. We're up on a ridge. We have a little bit of cell signal, which is going to be nice for the night. The site does consist of a downed tree that you can kind of sit on. Nice little fire pit. There's a little bit of wood here, which, you know, we're not going to do a lot of fire building tonight. It's going to be mainly just kind of sitting around, relaxing for a few minutes, getting some dinner and going to bed. Got the tent set up over here. It's kind of a flat spot. Got everything set up for the most part. Alex is in the process of getting her air mattress done. and then we'll be kind of pretty much set up for the night. Do have some of my cook system over there. I'm gonna cook some tacos, I believe, or maybe some buffalo chicken tonight. But it's a pretty little area. We are about 2.5, 3 miles away from water, which is kind of a letdown, but we have about 4 liters for water for the night and in the morning. So I think we'll be okay. We'll definitely be filtering the minute we get over to that water supply though. Normally I like camping near water, but in this instance we were good. We still had enough water to get through the night, so. But yeah, we're here, 9 miles for the day. It's really supposed to be hot tomorrow. I was able to get the weather band to work. They're talking 94, 95 degrees here during the day. So we're going to do most of our hiking in the morning. Once it starts getting really hot, probably be like, yeah, we're done, especially if we're near a water source, and call it a night. But yeah, we're just going to kind of relax. Like I said, it's roughly 5 o'clock. Going to relax, get some dinner here in a little bit, and probably go to bed about 9:30, 10 o'clock like we did last night, guys. So we got sites set up. Like I said, we got here about 5 o'clock. Got everything set up. We actually went in the tent and just kind of stretched out to relax some sore muscles. And I dozed off for about an hour. And Alex said she dozed off for about half an hour or so. And I woke up and it was about 20 to 8, and I was like, ooh, we need to get some dinner going. We want to do a little fire, maybe get it started. So now it's roughly about 10 after 8, and I'm doing cold soak, or not cold soak, but hot soak in my cook pouch. I went ahead and boiled up about 6 ounces of water, and I'm doing my buffalo chicken. Alex wants some more of the dry ramen, so she's doing a chicken pack there. Got a little fire going, just a little twig fire. You know, we're not going to be burning a fire long tonight, maybe an hour or so, hour and a half. You know, we're kind of wiped out, not really wanting to process a lot of wood. I mean, there's just this big stick pile laying here. We're just going to kind of go through it a little bit and use what we need out of it and keep a fire going. We kind of did it just because there was a lot of bugs in the area. Get a little smoke in the area and they kind of dissipated, so that helps. And other than that, yeah, it's been a quiet evening. We did see, for the first time since we've been on trail, other humans. They actually come through on bikes right after I climbed in the tent. I heard them. Alex saw them, and then I kind of caught a peek of them as they went by. There was a couple of guys on bikes riding. So I kind of figure we'll see more activity tomorrow and Sunday, probably people hiking and doing the mountain biking on the trail and such. Pretty decent day of hiking. Like I said, we got about 9 miles in, so we're about roughly 13 and a half, 14 miles into the full trip, which I calculated at 29 miles to 30 miles, so we'll see what we end up doing. But today was a full day of it. A lot of inclines. Archer's Fork really isn't bad. This last stretch here that was about 2 miles back to the south of us was a little bit of a beast because it was a lot of ups. You know, we did a lot of incline there, but it wasn't, up until that point, it wasn't bad. But yeah, we're going to just kind of enjoy the night, let the muscles completely unwind and finish kind of relaxing a little bit, and then probably be in bed around 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I feel pretty good after that little hour and a half nap. I think it was about an hour and 15 total, to be honest. I feel pretty good after kind of dozing off and having that siesta. Other than that, yeah, you know, it's been a pretty good night, pretty good trip so far. Just battling the heat, and like I said, at North Country Trail, I wasn't expecting the inclines like that. I mean, I had read up on it, and I mean, people had talked about that it was a harder trail and this and that, but I was not expecting the elevation gain. I wish when you could find a trail that's a little bit more obscure, that, you know, somebody's actually written about it, they actually put a little bit better information in there, because I may have really seriously considered skipping that. Now, of course, there were actually other trails that we could have taken down there to get over to Archer's Fork that may have been a little bit easier, but that's the one I chose because it was the map-wise, logistics-wise, was the easiest one to kind of plan out. But I'm going to check my dinner. It's been soaking for about 10 minutes or so, probably about to the point where I can eat it. And looks like I might throw a little bit more wood on the fire. That's one thing with a stick fire, you've got to constantly keep feeding it because it burns down pretty quick. It's about 9:30. Kind of winding down the day here. Got the bear bag up over here because we're done eating for the night. And just kind of enjoying a decent little stick fire. Like I said, we're not planning on burning it big or long tonight. Alex just kind of built it up really decent and kind of let that go. And we're going to build it up maybe 2 or 3 more times. Just kind of relax and trying to let the muscles unwind, let the mind unwind from the longer day of hiking. It is the longest we've done this year. Close to Alex's longest. She's at 11. That was at Red River Gorge last year. Of course, I've done the 15 almost at Zaleski. I did like 14.7. You know, but definitely as far as this year goes, it's the longest. Longest I had done up until this point in time this year was 6 miles. Alex, I think, had 6 miles at East Fork. So, yeah. Of course, it would have probably been a little bit different if we could have hiked a little bit more this year, but situations kind of arise. You know how this year's been for everybody. We're not going to talk about it. It's kind of interesting. I do have actually a little bit of internet signal here, so I'm going to get some Instagram photos up for you guys. You can check them out right here. Yeah. Hit my Instagram up, my Facebook. That'd be really awesome. But we're going to relax for the rest, a little bit for the rest of the night. Probably go to bed in the next hour, hour and a half, and just get ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be another big day of hiking. Probably shooting for about 10 miles. We'll see how it goes, depending on weather as far as the heat goes and such. Heat index tomorrow, about 4 o'clock, is going to be about 100 degrees, so it's going to be interesting. But we'll see how it goes. It's a nice night. It's starting to cool off. I think we're going to sleep real well. Definitely won't be as warm tonight as we were last night. Yeah, and the sun is just now going down over that hill over there. It's been down probably for about 25 minutes, so we're going to get good and dark here shortly. It is almost a new moon, so we won't expect any brightness from that. So it's the end of day 2. We're in the tent, getting ready to lay down and probably head to sleep before long. Alex is over here just kind of, yeah, I can't really see her. The light's not the greatest. There you go. But yeah, we're in here laying down. It's a little after 10, a little bit later than last night, but that's fine. Good night, really good day of hiking, so we're ready to hit the sack and get ready for tomorrow. A little warm, but I think we'll be okay. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, definitely like, share, comment, subscribe for sure. Helps us out a great deal here on the channel at Living the Grand Adventure. And, you know, we'll see you tomorrow. Always remember to live your grand adventure to the fullest. Take care. We'll see you on the trail, guys.